Hey man, I am telling you how much fun I am having with Kirk Nugent. All right?
Man, we in here, brother. We are in here.
Dude, I want to thank you for, coming on and being like a guest with me all the time.
Yeah.
Like this is really cool. I'm hoping
Listen,
that you're having as much fun as I am
I
being on the stream show.
I am having a lot of fun, and I'm excited, man. I'm excited. I am enjoying the stream show audience. It's family here. It's on the Ecamm channel. It's Ecamm fam. But it's for streamers. It's for streamers by streamers, right? FSBS.
That is so true. And I want to jump right into it because I
Yeah,
really
let's
want to
get
help
into it.
people
Yeah.
have great sound on their live stream. One of
Yes,
my
indeed.
pet peeves is we have all these bells and whistles that's connected, not just the right microphone, but sometimes we have these roadcasters with our sound pads and all it,
Yep.
or
Yep.
videos that are a part of our live stream, and you're talking and then you do a sound pad and it's like way too
Way.
loud, or you play a video and it's not loud enough or it's too loud. And your live stream is cool, I mean, because it's a live stream, it goes by really fast, but in the replay, it can be a little annoying. But what I really want to focus on is making sure between you and your guest, focusing on you first, that you have great audio, that you
Great
sound good.
audio.
And we have a couple of steps we're going to go through. And I'm only doing this, Kirk, because me, you, and Mr. Camera Junkie had a show talking about video settings and cameras. And I
That's
got to
right.
listening to the show and I'm like, man, this thing sounds awesome. And we were all using different microphones.
Mm-hmm.
I think we
Mm-hmm.
may have our interface may be in common. Like I think all of us were using the Rodecaster
Roadcaster
Pro
Pro. Mm-hmm.
or the Rodecaster Pro 2, but we were using that as an interface. But man, it sounded great. So the best camera settings for your live streams, the name of that video. Go back and
Yeah, you gotta check
listen
that out,
to
y'all.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Mr.
Yeah, I
Camera
was gonna
Junkie
say
did his
watch
thing
it,
on that
but they
joint.
just
Yeah,
need to listen to that one, Kirk.
yeah, for sure, for sure, for sure.
That
So what
being
you got for the
said,
people, man?
yeah, so let's just kind of jump into it tonight. We're gonna talk about the best audio. We're gonna start at the simple things, guys. We talked about it's kind of going backwards since we talked about cameras. Now we're gonna talk about audio. Audio should always be first. Audio
Audio
should
always
always be
be
first
first.
on your list. You
Yes.
want to be sure that your audio is done right in the beginning. And I want to jump right into it. That being said, whatever you choose for a microphone is important. Invest in a good microphone. All right, quality microphones can be a significant difference. The look for USB or XLR microphones known for
Yes,
their
indeed.
clear and crisp sound.
You
What
got
do
you
you
got
think
it.
about that?
Listen, there is old adage that says the way that you set up your studio is the order of importance of setting up your studio is the way that God set up the earth. And so everybody knows that he started with, and you're probably thinking light because he says, let there be light. But what he really started with was sound because he had to say it.
Right.
He had to say, let there be light. So when you are investing in your live stream audio, you are investing in the top priority. People will tolerate shaky video, blurry video, but they will sign off for bad sound. And so I always encourage coaching clients, anybody that I work with, really, if you're going to make an investment above and beyond what you already have at home, what do you already have in terms of your phone or whatever, anything else, if you're going to make an investment, you want to make an investment in sound first. And so get, put together like let me say $200, $300, and just buy a mic, test the mic, send the mic back. Buy the mic, test the mic, send the mic back. Just keep that $200, $300 floating, and then go through those videos, listen to yourself, listen to how you sound, and make a determination. A good microphone, quality microphone. It could be USB. I have some USB ones that I love, but XLR, in my opinion, is the gold standard. And don't skimp on the cables. That's one thing I want to say.
That's
Something I
true.
learned from Doc Rock. Don't, whether it's USB or XLR, do not skimp on the cables. Cables matter.
They really do matter. They really do matter. So what you see me here with right now, I want to let me get to the right screen here.
There we go.
I actually pulled in my SM7B. Now, what you're hearing me on right now is a Sennheiser 416. So it is a shotgun mic that's probably about 10 inches away from me.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm very aware of how close I am to this. And if I'm right on it, you're going to get my voice. If I go off a little bit, as you can tell, it's not as loud, it's not as direct. But right here is my sweet spot, and I know exactly where it is. That being said, I like the
Are you gonna
fact
make a
that
switch?
there is not a microphone in the shot.
Yeah.
But there is nothing that can compare to my vocals on this baby right here. And I'm going to show you how.
Come on, come on. Give them the test. Give them the test.
I am so sorry.
Oh.
There is a lot of microphones that I could use, but
Oh.
this one is just so sweet on my
Oh.
voice.
I hear it, brother.
Okay. The SM7B, and for me, it's just a marriage made in heaven. You know what I'm saying? It's the clarity is the sound that I like. I do have some stuff
yeah.
on it, but I really like how this mic sounds on me. And I do have another test while you well, it looks like you may have a 58.
You got to have the SM58 in your lineup. You got to
Yeah.
have the SM58. The SM58, man, one of the things I love about this mic is it's because it's of its directional setup.
Uh-huh.
If you mouth, you hear nothing. It's
Right.
I use this mic for as an interview mic when I'm doing on location, maybe at a conference in a noisy hallway. I use this mic. People don't even hear all the chatter around them. This mic is a game changer. Definitely one that you should consider, and it does come in a little more cost effective than my good friend the SM7B, which I'm going to switch back to right now.
I think that's like $100 mic.
Yeah, you're right. You are right. But I mean, I want to just piggyback and agree with you real quick. There is nothing quite like the SM7B. There's just nothing quite like it. I often imitated, never
Never
duplicated.
duplicated.
Never
Yeah.
duplicated. The
So
SM7B. It's a great mic.
So of course they do have the DB, the SM7DB mic
This
out
is true.
that
This is true.
has the cloud lifter technology inside of the
Built in.
microphone. If you
That's
do
right.
not have an SM7B and you're looking for a mic, I recommend, depending on your setup and your how you project your voice. So there's some people that never needed a cloud lifter. Like I really never had a cloud lifter based on how I speak in my studio.
Right.
But there's some people that don't project or have a different style voice and they needed more gain on the SM7B.
Mhm.
And if they needed more gain, they needed the cloud lifter. I didn't need a cloud lifter. That being said, it's $100 more.
Oh yeah.
But if
Yeah.
you needed a cloud lifter, you got to pay $129 for it. Am I right?
That's correct. You're spot on.
So I wanted to do this test again, Kirk, while we're talking about microphones, because this
What
is
you
a
got?
very pretty $20 microphone. I'm
Love
like,
it.
yes, this is all the way from Japan or China or wherever. I don't even know what this thing is called. BM 800. Zineyoou.
Okay. Okay.
All right. Knockoff. $20 microphone. I got it because I had a studio that was more of a showy studio.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
had this
Yeah.
in my office and it was on a mic stand, but I really didn't do anything. I was just kind of showing off, right?
Hmm.
I'm hoping that I put this back in the way it was supposed to be. $20 microphone inside of the Rodecaster Pro with the right setting. And I'm going to have to find the right setting. So you're going to go through some things
Let's
that
go.
may not
Let's go
sound
through it.
good.
Here we go. Here we
But
go.
I'm thinking that you will be able to get something out of this because the SM7B is what, $399?
Yeah. $399. Yeah. What you got? What you got?
So
I,
I'm trying to get to my microphone here so I can choose what type mic this is.
okay. Got you. Got you.
And let's try it here. I may have the right one.
No. No. Here we go. Listen, I love this. I love this. You listen, guys.
Mic check. Mic
Oh,
check.
we heard him. We heard him. We heard him.
Hey,
Yep.
mic check.
It's
It has a
coming
little
in.
buzz there. So
Got
this
a
is
little buzz.
inside of Rodecaster Pro. I'm picking the preset microphones and I'm trying to find the right one. This is a $20 microphone.
Come on.
Okay, that's not it.
Yeah.
Condenser setting. Mic check. Mic check 1, 2, 3. And that may be
Yeah. Condenser.
mic check. Mic check. Mic check.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Your noise gate is slamming down. I hear it.
Let's stay right here
Yeah.
with no other programming. This is what a $20 mic could sound like.
Now, I do want to hasten to add, it's a $20 mic on a $500 audio interface.
Yes. Yes. There's some noise in here too, and I can't figure that part.
Yeah, maybe the XLR cable is next to a power cable or something.
But this is the same cable I had with the SM7B.
Oh,
Just
really?
moving
Wow.
it around just a little bit, just to be sure it's not on a power cable some kind of way.
It's the hum is gone.
So, mic check. All right. So, I'm doing this test, Kirk, because I want people to know that sometimes it's kind of like when you see those professional camera guy with the phone with a $high camera with a novice.
Yeah.
Okay, the novice can't work all the settings on that $high camera, but the person that's a professional filmmaker, whatever, they could take a phone and make it look great, right?
That's
Like
right.
they know how to use the settings and great angles and all of that.
Yep.
If you take the time to do it right, I'm not saying that these two can compete, but you can still have a great sound inside of your studio and not spend $500
This is the truth.
on the microphone.
That is so true. That is so true.
So this is a real test. This mic is probably about 3 years old. It's the first mic I ever used on any stream. And again, it's really, really pretty looking. It's got this little shock mount, the old 9. But of course, it doesn't sound like the SM7B. So I just wanted to do that.
You just have to temper your expectations. I think that's, and you also have to kind of walk through your own process. Everybody's going to start somewhere. I remember the first mic I got. It's a no-name mic. It looks similar to yours, only that the bass is blue, and I love that mic. I still have it to this day. I also, after that, got a M Audio Air 1924, and I love that mic. That mic, I still do voiceovers on that mic. You just have to. Every mic isn't going to necessarily be the mic for everyone. Like, I love the SM7B. It's just, oh my gosh, the quality of the sound. But your timbre, your texture, your tone for your voice is going to be slightly different. So you want to take a mic, test it, record some stuff, listen to it back. If that's what you want your voice to sound like on live stream, then that's your mic. But if not, don't worry about what everybody else is getting. Get the mic that works for you.
You know what I really recommend when it comes to a microphone? Of course, the SM7B is there, but you could probably get 3 of these other mics off of one SM7B, and it's the Rode mic.
Is that the pod mic?
I think that's what it's called, a pot mic. Pod mic is like $100.
Okay, yeah.
It still has a great look, has a great sound.
Look. Iconic look, yeah.
Right, has a great sound. More and more people are starting to use them online. You got a podcast, again, you can get, three of those microphones for the price of one SM7B. Now, I'm not trying to get people to go away from the SM7B. I want people to understand there are options to get great microphones. And we're going to talk about interfaces a little bit later, but we talked about mics. There's tons. The Q2U is a good microphone as a good
Yeah.
starter mic.
Samsung
Um,
Q2U is great mic. Yep.
yeah, and then what Kirk is using there is, people sleep on it because of the look,
Yeah. Yeah.
but it is a
Um,
great sounding microphone. Okay,
it's
the Shure 58 SM,
okay.
yeah, the SM58.
I, I'm just taking it out of the little sleeve so you can see what it looks like. But yeah,
That's the one that I've had
it's
for
the original.
years. You throw it in the microphone bag, it could be beat up, the cone could be beat
Look at that
up, but
joint.
it still sounds the same. That is, it's a great mic. And
Yeah.
people don't know the same type technology is inside the SM7B. They just moved the cone and all of the microphone pieces
To the
back to
yeah.
the end inside of that microphone, so it reduces some of the pops that you would get. And we're
Right.
gonna
Right.
going into the pops. Let's just go to the next
Let's
one
go
so
to
that
it. Let's
people
go to it.
understand that it's important that you do have this pop filter. You
Listen,
know,
if you're gonna do audio, if you're gonna do audio well, um, not only get the pop filter, not only use the pop filter, but make sure the pop filter is in the right location. I can't tell you how many times I see pop filters with mics that don't necessarily need a pop filter because it has, one of these, or they have it turned backward. So you want to make sure you have the pop filter actually over the right part of the mic, where you're actually supposed to speak into. So, but yeah, for your P's, your B's, all your plosives, you want to make sure. I don't have my pop filter on now, so you guys are probably complaining. Let me go ahead and put that on.
actually, we were hearing it without the pop filter.
Really?
Yeah, well, I was hearing the explosives without the pop filter. So let's
Oh
try it
wow.
again. Let's see what it sounds like now.
All right, all right. So for your P's, your V's, all your plosives, this is the reason why you have a pop filter, because you don't want the mic to pick up all of those things. And so now you can hear the difference between when I had it off and when I now have
Uh-huh.
it on. And to be clear, this is a pop filter here on the SM7B as well. I'm not
It
going to take
is.
that off though. But you can swap this out for different colors if you want to have your brand. But it's not just an aesthetic. It's not just a nice to have. It is actually something that helps to give you good sound.
And the SM7B actually comes with two of these pop filters.
Right.
One is this one is a more slim fit one, and then there's a larger one. And I will tell you this: my wife is really bad about her P's and B's,
Wow.
so I let her use the larger one,
Bigger
and it
one. Yeah.
really does make a difference. It really does make a difference. I don't know. I think it's the radio days for me that I have them sometimes, but my directions of how I talking to the microphone is the angle is a little different. So
Right.
I don't
Right.
get them
Right.
as much. But she gets down in there. And I will say this, she does use a pop. I had to have a pop filter and the
Oh wow.
additional, yeah, I had to use like one that's in the frame here with
Mhm.
her.
Oh
I have
wow.
one of these in front of the larger pop filter on the SM7B for her because she'll come right through. I don't know what it is, but it's her angle. She's right down on it. Now, I do feel like if you need it, you need it.
Right.
Some of this stuff, these this one that you're seeing on the screen is not going to change so much of your sound that it will be muffled. It's helping you be able to stop those explosives from getting to the microphone, and you want to be sure that you do have it at the right distance.
Right.
So test it out. Test it out. Do a couple of pickle pickers and see what comes through until you
Yeah.
get it at the right distance for you. Now,
Mhm.
no automatically, a pop filter is not to be right next to the mic. Like one like you see on the screen is not supposed to be right next to the mic. There is a couple of inches of distance you want to
Yeah.
have from your vocals to that microphone with that pop filter to be sure
That's right.
that the explosive doesn't get right next to you.
Right
Okay?
next to it, right, or in your recording or in your live shows.
There you go. So let's go to the next thing. When we're trying to help you get some great audio, adjust microphone placement can be be mindful of your voice and
Yeah.
know where you need to be on your mic. I already told you, like
Yeah,
for
we
me,
literally just said this.
yeah, I could be over here and you're not going to hear it as much. So, but if I
No.
get right here where the microphone is pointing to, guess what? It sounds great.
You want it, yeah, you wanna find that sweet spot. I when I'm setting up a studio with a client, I'll have them walk around the mic, and kinda talk to all the different sides of it and kinda just get a feel for, okay, that's what that sounds like over there. Another thing that is really good about, being mindful of your microphone placement and your voice is monitoring your mic.
That's right.
Being able to monitor what you sound like. We as humans naturally will edit ourselves, edit our voice, edit the way we speak, even edit our delivery just by being able to hear. I was doing a podcast recording with some friends, and they were like, "Do we really need to wear the headphones?" And I'm like, "Yeah, you kind of do, because you will naturally edit yourselves." And the moment they put the headphones on, they actually change the way they're talking. They
Right.
can hear the low register. They can, you know what there's so much that you can emote. There's so much that you can elicit. There's so much that you can transfer, just with the way you use your voice. So there's something to be said for being, not only having the mic placement right, but listening and monitoring your voice.
That is so true. And let's get to the next thing here because we kind of already talked about it. But consider your audio interface.
Mhm,
What
mhm.
does that mean? Inside of your studio, if you're brand new, your microphone needs to be able to talk to your computer.
That's
So
right.
your audio interface takes the analog signal from your mic and digitizes it
Mhm,
and connects it to your computer. There's software that that interface has to be able to connect with Ecamm or connect with your computer so you
mhm.
can get audio. Okay?
And if you have a USB mic, just kind of think about that as being the interface, right? So your
Right.
USB has the interface basically essentially built into it, like
Built
the
into it.
the Shure MV7, versus the MV7X. The MV7X is just XLR, so it doesn't have an audio interface inside, whereas the MV7 regular does
Right.
have it. So you can plug that up USB and use it that way.
And you know, to be honest with you, I like for beginners to use USB microphones.
Me too.
I really do. I mean, there's tons of ways of getting around this. The interfaces can be expensive.
Mhm.
Um, and expense is relative, guys. I absolutely know expense is relative. I really like what I have the Rodecaster Pro.
Mm,
There is a Rodecaster Pro 2 out, and there even is a Duo that's out right now that
that's
gives
right,
you
that's
like
right.
4 inputs. For what we do in our studios, you may need an additional microphone in your studio at some point or another. So that duo would be good. You may not need all of the inputs that the 1 or 2 would give you. I have
Right, right.
one, and I absolutely love it. I'm not
I
getting
absolutely
no.
love it.
I'm not getting no, away from my Rodecaster Pro.
No.
There may be a need in the future to get to 2. It does have some additional features I could use. My wife sometimes uses the studio to play her flute, so the echo that we could get in the studio, being able
Yeah.
to use some additional mic effects on the mic could be cool, but not for my streaming. Like for
No.
what I have right now, it is great. It sounds great. I really don't want to touch it, and I really don't want to make that audio investment if I don't have to, because I've
If you don't
already
have
made
to.
the
Yeah.
investment with the Pro.
That's so true. So true. So true.
So let's keep going here. The next thing we want to talk about is I think it's important inside of your studio.
Mhm.
You talked about it already,
That's right.
Kirk, being able to monitor
You
what
got
you
to.
have. And I think with our system inside of the Ecamm fam and how Ecamm works, there is a way to monitor your stream. But if you are the host, okay, if you are the one talking,
Mhm.
um, a lot in your stream, guess what? Monitoring it could really be hard because you are getting the echo. So the monitor is probably a fraction of a second off, but you're hearing yourself double time. So most
Mm.
of us don't monitor the stream. What it is best to do is to start with the monitor and then turn it off. So listen to yourself, listen to your guests, make sure you can see what it looks like, but even the little EQ that we have is not perfect.
No.
So what you want to do is try to monitor it, make sure all of the sounds sound as best as it can as far as being level.
Hmm.
Your guests, and any sound effects you may have. Okay, I've heard this all the time, and I'm gonna play one now, and it's not EQ'd, not mixed well. So whatever it sounds like, guess what? This is what it's gonna sound like because I haven't EQ'd this, nor have I monitored. Yeah, see how loud that could be?
Yeah.
All right. You want to be
When
sure that when you do it, you actually are playing something music wise. You want to be sure that it balanced and is mixed well,
Yeah.
because it shows your excellence and your ability to have a great stream for sound. Okay,
Absolutely.
not just your microphone, but all of the sound mixed well. So you want to monitor it and then turn the monitor off inside of Ecamm so that you don't hear that echo between what you're saying in your head over and over again.
Let me just say one quick thing here. I know we're gonna move, and that is what DJ Strick is talking about in terms of the echo is if you are monitoring your sound using your streaming platform. Let's say in this
Yes,
case Ecamm. But if you're using something, so not every audio interface has. I'm thinking it through right now. Actually, most of the audio interfaces I'm thinking of do have a way for you to monitor your sound in the interface itself, even if it's built into the mic. Let's say you have a Shure MV7. If you usually have a port on the back of the MV7
that's
that
right.
you can plug into. When you listen there, you are not going to hear an echo. You'll hear your voice in real time.
That's
So it's a
right.
little less distracting than what DJ Strick is talking about.
And that's what
Even
we're
if
doing right now. Both
right,
of us
yeah,
are
yeah,
connected to hearing
to
our audio interfaces
that's right.
in our ears. So
Yeah,
I guess when you talk about headphones, uh, based on the type style that we have of
right.
shows, we don't use the big
The big
over
dome ones.
ear
Right, right.
earphones. We're using in ear kind of like monitors.
Yep, that's
Goes over the
exactly what they
ear.
are. The
They're
IEMs, yep.
really really streamlined. You can see them a little bit, but they're not as distracting as having these big ones. And I've seen some very large um, video guys that still wear the
The
big
headphones.
headphones,
Yeah,
and those headphones are expensive. These things are relatively inexpensive compared to them. I mean,
comparatively
I mean, we're
speaking, yep,
talking about less than $30 to get a
easily.
pair of these,
Mhm.
and they last really long. And I even have a pair sitting right next to me in the studio just in case I need to replace one. I just bought an extra pair because of the
Yep,
expense.
yep,
So,
yep, 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 yep.
so
Absolutely. So
those things you
those
want to think about.
yeah, absolutely.
So, you talked about this already. So, let me just go to this next one. So,
Yeah,
optimize your streaming software settings. So, inside of Ecamm, so for the Ecamm family, I'm able to control Kirk's audio
that's
coming in as a guest.
that's
I'm able to
correct.
control my audio. So even though
That's
I'm
right.
listening through my roadcaster and monitoring that, which I can hear all of the sound from him as well,
Mhm.
there's still some settings that you could change inside of Ecamm that you may not hear. That's why you want to monitor and keep looking at it, making sure that the levels look as though they're right and then hearing as though they're right. So there's some
Yeah,
things you can do inside of Ecamm to be sure that your microphone settings are right and video settings are right. You know, you're able to look at videos if you want to play videos inside of your live stream. You want to think about all of that sound that's coming through your live stream to be mixed well, so
mm,
people, when don't have to turn your video up or down. Does
up
that
or
make
down.
sense?
Yep, yep. Yeah, if somebody's having to turn your video up and down, that means you haven't balanced everything, yeah, from your intro video to your background music to maybe you're playing a video clip of something. You want to make sure all of that sound is balanced. And one of the things I love about Ecamm is that you have many different places to be able to balance the sound. One quick tip for the Ecamm fam is a lot of times, I don't know if you can go into LDM, live demo mode, Strict, real quick, but a lot of times people
Let me
will
see if I
try to
can.
adjust their audio just using the sound controls. But you can, let's say if you're playing some background music or playing a sound effect, you can actually adjust the audio on the sound effect itself. So because what'll end up happening is there may be some music that you want to play louder and then other music you want to play softer. And when you adjust it in just the sound controls, it becomes a bit of a problem because now you're going to have to go back to the sound control every time you play another thing, whether you're playing another movie or you're playing another sound effect. So going through and adjusting the sound on a sound effect or on a video, like you're playing a movie, you want to adjust the sound on that movie, and Ecamm remembers it every time you play that video, every time you play that sound effect. It will remember where you had that audio set to. So you go through and kind of set those things. You're seeing it now on the screen. This is
Yeah,
the audio
as you can tell,
levels.
I don't have much for people to see, but this is definitely
Yeah.
the sound, and you can see where my Rodecaster Pro is coming in and how
And
I
then you
have
can
it
see
sound.
mine at the bottom is the interview mode, right?
And
Perfect.
we have
Perfect.
movie, sound
Yep.
effects, and
Yep.
system audio. We have all of those things,
And,
and
s-
you
and
can tell I have my sound effects way down here
But
for music. So
if you pull up the sound effects window though, Strict, because you see how he has his sound effects very low. If you look at it, if you hit the wheel next to any one of those sound effects, you have a slider for your audio, and you can determine what that audio is in the sound effect itself, as opposed to adjusting it for everything. And so,
right,
having that granular ability to adjust your sound gives
that's
you
so true.
yet another it's just another level of polish for your live show, and making sure you set that experience for your audience in a way that it just blends together. You know what they say: when sound is right, nobody notices. Okay, when
It
sound
is
is
so
wrong,
true.
everyone
Everybody.
notices.
So I've heard a couple people say this. I think the last one I've heard it from was Miss Diana. Um, when people are listening and they have to use a lot of mental strength to listen
Mhm,
to what you're
mhm.
doing, it hurts their head. I mean, people get tired, so they get tired
Yeah,
of trying to cipher
that's
through
the same.
bad audio.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know, so it's different with your eyes, but with bad audio, it kind of hurts their head. So it's hard to listen through all of that.
absolutely, absolutely. So good, man.
So let's go to the next one really quick. So the next
Absolutely.
one
Yeah.
is minimize background noise. Find a quiet space for your stream and reduce ambient noise as much as possible. Close windows, doors, mute any unnecessary electronics.
Yeah.
So this seems simple, but you want to be thoughtful. So even now, while we're here, I did have to tell my wife, like, hey, I'm about to go stream. I'm in the basement right below the kitchen. So please don't start the dishwasher.
Oh
No matter
my.
what kind of mic, so my SM7B won't pick it up, but my Sennheiser would pick it up.
Pick it up.
So I wanted to be sure that I didn't have that as a problem while I am streaming.
Yeah. It's that level of intentionality, guys. It's just a level of intentionality that you just cannot manufacture. When people see the lengths and depths that you've gone to make sure that you have a good, clean, smooth live stream, that is the polish that we're talking about. I mean, one of the things I like to tell folks is just kind of set up a live show, a pre-live checklist, and that pre-live checklist, you kind of have those things on there. Okay, let me put the dog out, or you know what I'm saying? Like there's just so many different little things you can do to make sure that you minimize background noise.
So this next one, Kurt, is a little more advanced, but I think it
It
is
is.
important, and it's
It is.
probably one of the reasons why I love Rodecaster Pro,
Me too.
because it allows us to do a little processing on our microphones that can help us. So when we talk about a noise gate, like adding
Noise
a
gate.
noise gate, and I'm sure there's some whatever interface you have, even if it's not the Rodecaster Pro that would have this going for you. What I want you to do now is just grab a pair of headphones. So wherever you're watching this, and I would love for you to be watching on televisions or YouTube on TV. But if you're watching on a laptop or phone or something like that, just grab your headphones and I want you to listen to what we're doing now. Because if you do, I can hear it and maybe you can hear the noise gate working on my system on the Sennheiser here. Because when I stop talking, you will hear a quick silence. So while I'm talking right behind me, there's a
Yeah.
little bit of noise, and I'm not really
Just a
sure where it's
little.
coming from, but just a little bit of noise. And then when I stop, the noise
Completely
gate
gone.
kicks in.
Yep.
Okay?
Yep. There's there's in some intelligence to your audio interface that allows you to have that noise gate. Um, There to be clear, there are other ways to add a noise gate if you have software. I know I use
Right.
Audio Hijack and I use Loopback and some other software-based audio tools that are out there.
Your
But
video just went a little bit out of focus there. I think it's
oh,
focused
okay,
on the
my bad,
laptop
my
top.
bad,
There
my
you
bad,
go.
my bad. Let me see if I can get it back. All right, pull it down. There we
There
go.
you go.
My bad. Yeah, it's my hands. It's my hand gestures.
I know
I'm
it.
I talk with my hands, but yeah, there's you can use Audio Hijack and Loopback and some other software based audio tools that will really kind of get you across the line. But if you know using a hardware tool like the Rodecaster Pro does give you that noise gate ability, and it just really adds another level, especially on shows, live shows, especially, of course, we're talking about live shows, but especially on those shows where you're interviewing people, having that noise gate, man, it's just it saves you. I mean, because if
Yeah,
you're
it
not
definitely
talking at the
makes a
time,
difference.
there's no reason for your audio to be, bleeding in to somebody else's time while they're talking. So that noise gate is another pro feature that we highly recommend.
And if you need help with that, there's some things possibly. Let me just put something in the description that maybe will help you. I think our guy Alex did a really, really good job on the Rodecaster Pro going through
Yeah.
all of the
Oh,
settings
Alec.
and the
Yeah. Oh, yes.
thresholds and all
Absolutely.
of that. Those things can really help you understand audio. It doesn't, you don't need processing, but an
Mm,
advanced setting does include processing. Okay.
processing.
There's a little bit of processing here now. I'm hearing my threshold and I haven't heard it this loud before. So I got to figure out what I may have done to change it. I don't know if my microphone is up a little louder than it normally would be
Ah,
or what.
yeah, yeah, when
I
we
may
were
have
testing out.
changed it for the
Yep.
show. Yeah. But I'll make
But
sure it's right because I'm hearing a little bit more of the threshold or the noise gate than I want to, or a little bit more of the noise, and I'm not sure where it's coming from.
let me throw this in there because first of all, I'm not hearing any of it, Strick. So I'm not. You're sounding clean on my end, and you guys can let
Thank
us
you.
know in the comments, what you're hearing. But I'll say this: in addition to the noise gate that is in the Rodecaster Pro that both of us are using, you also have background noise removal, or just uh, what's it called? It's the audio setting inside Ecamm, echo cancellation. You also
Yeah, there
have
you go.
some sound processing in Ecamm in your streaming platform that's also going to help you as well. And so you're coming through a couple of different iterations before it actually goes through to the audience. In fact, as I mentioned before, both Strick and I are monitoring in the Rodecaster Pro.
Right,
We're but we have audio going to and from the Rodecaster Pro into our headphones,
right,
meaning I'm hearing him in my headphones, he's hearing me in his headphones. So both the computer audio and our mic audio is coming to our headphones, but we're not hearing the audio as it goes from the Rodecaster Pro into Ecamm and out to you. So we're hearing the audio actually before it gets to you. Does that make sense, everybody? That's why we're not hearing the echo. And because of that, I'm hearing something slightly different than what Strick is hearing. So he says he's hearing a little bit of noise. I'm not hearing any. You sound really clean to me.
well, I
So
appreciate it.
yeah,
There's a little bit in here, and I'm not sure where it is, but I moved a couple cables, and I'll get it right the next time. Again, try to listen to this with headphones, even while I was trading off microphones, and you'll
that's
hear a
right.
difference in all of this. And you may be even able to catch me in some of my processing and listen to some of that as well. Let's go to the next thing really quick. You want to be sure that you balance audio levels. I've already talked about this, but ensure that your
Yeah.
microphone and other audio sources like background music are well balanced. You don't want any one thing overpowering the other. You definitely want to be sure that I will always err with sound effects and additional sound. I will err on it not being as loud than it being too loud.
Too loud. Oh, so
Okay.
good.
Okay. That's
That is
just
good.
me.
Yeah,
All
that's
right. You
so
can
good.
still hear it versus,
That, that's way too loud.
you can still hear it. Like if it's just too loud, I would rather it be real soft. And if you're on the Rodecaster Pro, guess what? If it's, you know, you can control it going up and down. I always
Up
tell
and down.
people soundboards are real easy for me. If I need more sound, you just push it up. You need
Push it
less,
up.
just pull it down. Sound for me, I'm a logical guy. Like that's how I do sound now. Some of the sound guys I've worked with, they can make it so much more complicated. But if it's too loud, pull it down. If it's not loud enough, push it up.
Push it up.
That's just me.
Good.
All right, let's go to the next one really quick.
I got something on this
Test
one.
before you go live. Just
Listen,
test some things out.
I want to share with you guys. I'm a living witness. We did a full test record before this actual video that we're doing now. We did a full test
That's
record.
true.
Strick actually hit the record button. We did a couple of things. He hit stop. He listened to it before we went live. And I'm going to tell you right now, for somebody who has been streaming as long as Strick has, to still do that, I'm telling you, that means what that says to me, and it says to you, should say to you, is that nobody's exempt. Test it before you go live. I'm a carpenter's son. I like to use this phrase. We like to measure twice, but cut once. You test before you go
Now, that's
live.
really cool. That's really
Yeah.
cool. Measure twice, cut once.
Yes, sir.
And that's the same mentality that I have with this is, you want to be sure that things are together and listen to it and get the balance. Monitoring is great, but if you can just record, listen to the recording, there's so many things you can see, hear, and get done with a test record. So there you go. There you go. It
Absolutely.
just makes a difference. So I think I may be close to the end.
Yeah. There's just
Here we go.
there's this one. It's this one and one more after this.
Use
But
a dedicated microphone stand or a boom arm. Can I tell you my boom arm story, Kirk?
come on, talk about it. Talk about it.
So when I first got started streaming a couple of years ago, I didn't, because this is in the middle of the pandemic, something I wanted to do, had the time to do. I didn't know how serious I would be or how long I would do it. I didn't want to invest a whole lot of money. Okay.
Mhm.
So you can get a boom arm online. It looks like all the other boom arms,
It
just
does.
$12, $13. It looks just like the other ones until you get it and have it for a while. And those things that used to stand like this, they're not any good. But I mean, you can get a Rode arm, $200. I
Yeah.
mean, those things can be really expensive.
It can.
So what I like instead, you guys kind of already saw them. I really like these
I really
stands.
like them. I really like
I
them as
really
well.
like these stands, and I'm not showing you that well, but I'm able to move the microphones around. I mean, you've seen me just take these off my desk and put them on the floor beside me because I didn't want them in the way. But these
Yeah.
arms are really cool, and I keep saying inexpensive. I mean, they are, but they have a nice little base. Okay, and you can just move them. Now the
Yep.
arms, people like the arms. I don't like this thing being in my
Shot.
shot.
Yeah.
Half the shot has got a line in there. I mean, I have this one for my phone. So when I'm doing Instagram stuff, I have a arm here that's close to my camera.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, look.
That's not bad. Well, I see what you mean about the mic arm or the boom arm. Yeah.
There it is, the microphone in my face.
There you
It's
go.
actually a holder, but I mean, you see it. So I do like these stands. I can put the microphone is right here. Based on how my desk is in front of me, I could raise my desk, raise it and lower it and all that kind of stuff. And I just put the
Mm.
microphone right where I want it, right in a nice sweet spot,
Yep.
and I'm ready to go.
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, you got to test things out. I mean, personal preference does
A
apply
lot
here
of
as
that.
well, but there is what shouldn't be personal preference is that you have something to put your mic on. So I'll give you an example. My SM58, there is no stand for it. There's no. You're going to be streaming for half hour, hour. Do you want to be sitting here holding this mic for the whole time? Nobody wants that. Nobody wants that. So, and again, that that lends itself to, hey, let me do something on the keyboard, and now my mic is this far away from my mouth because I'm trying to do something with the same hand. So having a mic arm or a mic stand or a boom arm is one of those things that just allows for the mic to be in the spot that you've tested, that gives you the best sound, and it allows for your audience to have that consistent experience that we've been talking about.
That is so true. You're right on it, Kirk. And you wanna be sure that you're comfortable. The mic is where it needs to be. You also want to know what type person you are. Like Kirk,
Yeah.
when you're talking with your hands, you're doing a karate talk. You know what I'm saying? You want to know because having the boom arm in the way could be a problem. Having
Could
it
be.
right in front of you on a stand, or if you like to, having it on a stand. If you like to,
Tap on the
make all
table.
the noises on the table. If you got to, laughing and you're bouncing on the table, that stand is going to take a beating,
Yes, it
and you're
is.
going to hear the audio out of that. So the two, you have to decide what kind of person you are.
You
Okay.
do. You'd really need to know that and really take that into consideration as you select something for yourself.
All right. So
So,
the next thing I want to talk about is making sure that whatever room you have, that you treat it as best you can. Now, Kirk had an opportunity to come see my setup here. I have
mhm,
a little bit of treatment on the walls,
mhm,
just a little bit of treatment on some of the off walls here to stop some of the echoing. Um, it doesn't take a whole lot,
yeah,
but you want to be thoughtful and listen to your stream. Make sure you got a good pair of headphones that you can just listen, turn it up, and listen
yeah,
to what you normally would not hear. Is there really an echo in my room? Okay.
yeah.
And
There's
go ahead. I know you're
there's a
jumping
I
at the
just
bit on this one.
well, there's a I think you hit the nail on the head. It's not very, it doesn't take a whole lot to treat the space. But there are some best practices that you can adhere to that don't necessarily cost anything. One of them is, do you have carpet in the room? Carpet in the room is going to be a major source of attenuation, and what that means is it's not going to allow for there to be this natural echo or reverb in the room.
Right.
So carpet in the room, with not having hard surfaces, that's where your voice is bouncing off of everything. And
Right.
then, even paintings, just having a painting on the wall, like behind me right now is that green thing right there behind me, that's a pillow. That is a pillow.
It's cool.
That is also helping to, give some attenuation to make sure that my voice isn't just bouncing. I'm in a large room, so having something that allows for my voice to kind of just stay right here into the microphone, it is helpful. Then you have, like, the sound panels that you see people put up on, and in fact, even in the slide that DJ Strick had, the lady is sitting in front of this whole, sound panel, which is cool. And yes, you could put some of those up, and some of it is aesthetic. I won't lie to you. People put that stuff up. It's behind them, so it's it's not really, their voice is not going. You know what I'm saying? So
That's
there's
exactly my recommendation. Like first, always is behind the camera, like where you're projecting your voice.
where you're
You want to
projecting.
be sure that that's there first, and then there's some pockets depending on how your room is that noise can kind of sit in some pockets. So
Yes.
you want to take care of that, and maybe even do some type of sound panel above you.
Yeah.
All right,
That
that
that's
could
good.
help what's happening right above your head with sound.
Yeah.
Again, depending on your space, it's not a lot that you have to do, but you want to be mindful of the need. More importantly, treat your room with something. Again, Kirk is right. Start with the rug, ruck will go a very, very long way
Long
to
way.
to
Yeah.
get it to sound a particular way. The second thing is getting something so if my voice is projected this way, if I have a wall that is
Mm-hmm.
hitting, it's going to bounce off the wall. So find a way to treat that, and
Mm-hmm.
then make your steps around it. So, Kirk has got an SM7B. Guess what? That
That's right.
microphone is built to cancel out a lot of room noise, so
That's
you're
right.
paying the extra dollars to not have to treat your room as much.
Mm-hmm.
My Sennheiser here, it's going to pick up room noise. Like, that's what it's really
It's
built
the nature of
for.
a shotgun. Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
it's what it's built for. So I have to be sure that it's not going to pick it up behind it. But if in this little circle around me, like my hand is where this circle is, if
Mm-hmm.
there was an echo coming back and getting inside of this circle, guess what? The Sennheiser is going to pick it up.
Absolutely.
Okay,
One
so
of the
again, I can go off a little bit, and you hear a little less, you hear a little less, you hear
mm-hmm.
me right clear here,
Right.
a little
Yeah.
less, a little less, a little less, a little more, you hear me right. It's just right here that I have that sound that I need to get my vocal to be able to be heard the best. But again, if it's bouncing off a wall and get to this circle, guess what? You're going to hear it.
Yeah. I mean, I'm back on the SM58 now. One of the things that I did in my studios, because I have a lot of windows in my studio, and of course, the windows are facing the street, I grabbed some blackout curtains from Walmart, but they are weighted. And those
Gotcha.
weighted blackout curtains also serve to give you some attenuation, gives you some soundproofing as well. So there's some, as I mentioned, there's some inexpensive things that you can do. You just gotta kind of have to look at the space. No, it's not a one size fits all.
It's
Not
not.
because DJ Strick bought it means you need to do the exact same thing. You got to look at
Right.
your space for what it is and figure out what's the best move for you.
Kirk, man, I really want everybody to sound great in their streams. I mean, if you're
Me
part of the
too, man.
Ecamm fam or you found
Come
this and you
on.
say, hey, how can I have great live streams? We made some recommendations. We put some things out there that I think that you should be thoughtful of to
Mhm.
have a great stream. A great sounding stream, that is, because you could do it. If I could do it, you could do it. Now, I've worked with sound for a little while. Yeah, I'm a DJ, and I know how to control my vocals and all the other kind of stuff. But this is not rocket science.
No,
If you watch this and go down the list that we provided today, you will have a great sounding stream as well, just like us.
absolutely. Absolutely. And fam,
Kirk,
listen,
man,
if you're watching, whether you're watching live or you're watching on replay, man, go ahead and drop a comment because we want to be able to engage with you as well.
please do that. We'll definitely respond to them. And if you're watching this and have learned something today, if you don't press that like button, I
The
will
like
be
button.
slightly offended. Let Ecamm know that you like the content and that you learned something from the show today. And again, please make a comment. We'll come back around and talk to everybody in the comments because we love the Ecamm fam. Kirk, man, you've been great, sir.
Hey man, I love being here, brother. I'm telling you, you're gonna be hard pressed to get rid of me. Your audience is gonna be hard pressed to get rid of me too.
I love it. Kirk R. Nugent, please let people know how they can get in contact with you.
Oh man, he said it. Kirk R. Nugent, KirkRNugent.com and at Kirk R. Nugent on all social, especially YouTube, youtube.com/Kirk R. Nugent. Love to have you. Would love to be able to chat with you. Would love to be able to connect with you in whatever way. But man, listen, the stream show, DJ Strick, myself, Ecamm, we are about making sure you have the resources, best practices, tools, tips, for you to be able to take your stream to the next level. The critical point I always want to leave with folks is it isn't about the gear so much as it is about your message. And the gear is a vehicle
That's
for
right.
your message to not only get out to a wider audience, but more importantly, the right audience. And so you when you get your message out to that right audience, you want it to sound good.
That
And
is
that's
so
what the
true.
stream was all about today.
Hey, man, we're going to make you sound like a pro.
Come on.
Hey, man, thank you for watching the stream show. Hey, this is DJ Strick, and I would like to thank you for watching another edition of the stream show.